If you can handle the gabayas,
Yeah, it's not a seating instruction.
Okay, everybody back. Before we begin today's share, it's on my mind. We have the minhag to say at night. Some have the minhag to say in the morning. Here in Yeshiva, we usually, I assume next week might be tricky. The week after is a fast day, right? Some Gedal Yontif. So that's also probably a tough day. I would like to do one motzi. Pay attention to the emails, the groups. We'll send out, at least cover me in some ways for Rosh Hashana. So that's where today's share entitled, this is kept. We mentioned Erev Rosh Hashana, perhaps a different procedure, but we're involved. We do that on the Erev Rosh Hashana at the end of the long slichos, at the end of Matar Sandarim. We're going to talk about that process. And also, you go to shul, afternoon you go to shul for money, such an interesting procedure. They take out the Sifrei Torah, the chazanas, and they do this whole Kol Nidrei. And they put right. Kol Nidrei appeal too is something we'd like to defining what Atar Sadarim is for, what Kol Nidrei is for. And not sure if these halachos are relatively unknown. People go through the motions, is in generally not so well known. In your classic Shulchan Aruch or Chaim, you will not find too much written on it. For sure is a minhag, but there talks about it, at least over here in Aruch Chaim. Discussed have gaps. I was going to bring it in. Shlomo Zalman Auerbach basically wrote a whole part of one of his long speeches on it. Not so much now, many times to talk about it. So talk about it as much. How prevalent, I'm using that language. So I came across a sefer that goes idea. Let's say before a person goes to bed, let's say Kriya Shema. Now it's questionable, 3 parashas of Shema, saying Kriya Shema before he goes to bed. Or you could do the easy path. Also, you fall asleep on the couch Friday night. That might be relevant for this too. I got in the habit, I heard some share about it. Sometimes it's the most protection. I think I'm going to say this every day. With that, all different scenarios of Nadarim that come up and people come around, would you like to learn Mishnayos? Or sometimes even Gemara? There was a story, that clear that he's a Bachar. So, no Pesach, so that he himself wouldn't have to fast as a Bachar that will make a siyum. But there is an added, they normally would do that. One year, someone asked him to do it, but he realized that, hey, if I want to do the siyum B'chorim on Erev Pesach, this year it's like right away. So he was trying to see, could he get out Zecher Nishma somebody? What happens if he gets someone else and now he'll use his siyum on Erev Pesach? Or Mishnayos would be for someone who passed away. Actually, soon someone else said he had a similar one. He was makabel to a certain amount. He's got like 5 mesechtas of Mishnayos. So he's got this one. I'll tell you the psak just to build up part of my idea going through all the cumbersome it could be. In that particular case, the Shaila a couple of years ago. Amazing. Killed a Nazi, right? Well, there's a lot of things about Rav Gussman. So Rav Gussman was asked the Shaila, you just go straight for 2 days until you finish out those Mishnayos. What are you going to do?
There's got to be another.
Rav Gussman told him it's a dead-end street. I'll read but his Kabbalah's nether was for him to do himself. And therefore, you yourself are that if something's a mitzvah on your own body to do, you ever see a guy walking in the street, the Chabad guy comes over to him and is like, hey, want to put in tefillin? He's like, so since the way he said it, or here it's not even the way he said it, so that's binding. That's a neder on your own self. And therefore you have no one else to get. He says, how am I going to do this? Rav Gussman says, give him a heter for Gemara, you could do it without Rashi, because you didn't spend. Yeah, he also gave him a heter, you could do it even thinking about it, 8 hours to finish that neder. So he's also very relevant. In fact, very practice in the Jewish world, how much time to wait between milk and meat, or precisely between meat and milk, what's the most common practice? They got the one. My father-in-law's family, where they do 4. But, you know, it's the biggest place people learn Torah. That yeshiva, the way they organize, and when they serve their meals, there is less than 6 hours between meat and milk. To only do into the 6th hour. 5 hours in a minute. That is how the yeshiva is. And now they come to yeshiva, and the yeshiva says, no, you're going to keep your 6 hours. You're not going to eat either lunch or you ain't going to get leftovers. So that becomes a shaila. What do you do? I'll give you one other shaila, also very prevalent. We talk about the boys going, she starts off, okay, she'll daven shachris. Somewhere maybe in high school they'll teach, there's any daven mincha. By the time she's back from seminary, she's davening to it. Okay, fast forward a couple of years, holding a job, soon with kids, you dreamed about Erev. Mincha, maybe Erev Yom Kippur. For years, she's doing all these things. Makabel, she was noeg to daven. Yeah. And is that I'll give you even more cases. Once where bride come to me. All you said was a nice gesture of a neder, of a vow that you said. The person's going around in shul. And okay, you have in mind, okay, now I'm going to give that guy. And, you know, comes tzedakah could be even trickier, maybe easier in this introduction to share, is that it could darim or things close to the darim that we're stop, because that's human nature. When I'm inspired to do something, now there's neder, how do I get out of it? It's not actors of mishnayos. You got to stay up for 2 straight days and go through all those. That's what you're going to do. Complicated, not so simple ideas. Now, let's begin on top of the sheets. Written on it, in Simon Tavkov Pei Aleph, in your Atar Zadarim Shenogim Lasas Bar Hashana, Ayin Bishla. That's all it says. In terms of the Matafrayim, the Nogim Anshe Maisa, it's the minhag of a group of 10. So far, does not resemble one. That they do a seder that you're matir nadarim. We do have a minhag enough to do ataras and darim, but in Yeridea, and all you need is 3 regular people. Okay? There he explains a little. If you notice, I remember as a kid, the first thing you notice it's a very challenging situation because you're reading a whole long recital of word itself. By the time anyone's a bacher, For sure, someone's about tshuva.
Well, there's at least 25 others.
Surround
So if I don't know
sound.
what you're saying.
A lot of times people just get caught up, and you give this whole their recital, which okay, you also have to do. Too, but okay, I have to read at the same pace as them. Evidence with the congregants before you do it. Okay, well, this is what's going to be. Not so tough. Break it down, but then afterwards, why is it sort of like broken up into two segments? A very long. So that's what he's about to explain. There's two things going on. What you're looking for vows from the past. That's step one of Atar Sidarim. Days. Shekol Mashi is Kashru. It's a vow. Halo Mosrim. Undoing it from the get-go. Hashana is you're giving over the next year. It's null and void.
So you should need part one next year.
Excellent question.
Or if we're going to do
That thing, right? Your question, Mr. Paris, fantastic question. Now, the Torah does give away an exarim, which a person could do throughout the year. Now, really, ideally, those judges, you should have rabbis. And then I realized I like Krispy Kreme donuts, right? This one that you do the sitter, that's what's going on. Very specific to a group of rabbis, generic language. You're saying it to random people, and you're not spelling anything out. This disclaimer. They know what? If I'm going to do anything, if I am asked, okay, Rabbi, so I'll tell you why. And you go, all be bothered by another question. That disclaimer that you're giving only used right after the judges speak. The answer is, disclaimer doesn't really work.
The disclaimer itself counts as a neder, which would be nullified by itself.
No, you're not making a neder to make a neder.
Any neder you make
For a disclaimer. That's what I would say. But okay, we can talk about that. Right.
So you're saying you're really not doing
Perfect issue, Bacher.
Thank you.
Right.
I would like to be one again. Can we
Yes.
do that? One from it, friend.
So why are we doing it?
But
I'll build it up even more. Right? Here, there's also the languages. Yom Kippur's, right? Yeah. Some the Dharm between our Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur. Yeah. Okay. If it doesn't work, so I do another Kol Nidrei. This is Kol Nidrei. What exactly are you doing there in Kol Nidrei? Is there?
Not
No?
designated.
You could have the three Rosh Hashivas all holding a Sefer Torah by the Bima, which is not a Bezdin. So why are we doing this? He says to this, is you're right. Really, halach, understanding the Ramah, is really if a person knowing to do mitzvahs, and he doesn't specifically do the normal process of reaching a Bezdin, of three Rosh Hashanah doesn't work, on Erev Rosh Hashana, Kol Nidrei doesn't work either. Separation, it's a tefillah that we should realize how chomer, how stringent, practical significance of helping me doesn't work. I was makabel to do something this year, and then I stopped. Consider, you should spell out, look, then Rav Shmuel says it'll work. But which I believe is the most classic reading of the Shulchan Aruch Ramah of how they're viewing is throughout the year we're in big trouble. If we start doing something and we stop, get three people together, you could do it any point during the year, saying the whole Kriya Shema Almita. Now I realize it's mugging me, right? Something very important, which a person can get used to doing, is utter. That is a disclaimer. That works. That's something big. I understand the law here. There's major significance of a Rebbe used to say, Baruch Hashem, he didn't answer my question. So he was, Baruch Hashem good or Baruch Hashem lousy? Person, no, that would be a valid way to.
Jews who
the
want to get out of it.
right, the beginning part of Kol Nidrei, there's another aspect where you say that we invite everyone to daven in shul, even people that there was a cherem, people that there was an excommunication on, people who did certain averos. That's just like a sidebar. The main thing you do with Kol Nidrei, so eitzah number, the most classic thing is there's Hilchos Atar Sadarim. Get 3 Jews together, spell out for real Atar Sadarim ideally, and matret. Excellent. Option 3 is a fantastic psak from Shlomo Meltzer. Beis Harim she'osim be'erev Rosh Hashana, Nira, if you're makabel to do a mitzvah, that which we do in Erev Rosh Hashana does work if something is, or something you just started doing 3 times. For that, Atar Sadarim, or his lashon is, as long as it's not a neder daraisa, we rely on his Atar Sadarim. That means the only time you really have to engage in Atar Sadarim isn't to do this. So then you'd be stuck with that. But any other Nidrei mitzvah, let's go through the cases I gave. So Kriyash Mal Mita Mutter. You could get out of that with your Atar Sadarim on Erev Rosh Hashana. You're good. Good to go. It might be worse because you were specifically makabel on yourself to do it. Was not makel for that. The lashon that he told Rav Yerucham Olshin was the language of a neder. When you signed up for that, the nifter result, and he said, "Okay, find someone else to be yotzi asiyim on Erev Pesach."
Rabbi, I have a question.
Yes.
If you have a healer,
Great question.
can you delegate that to somebody else?
That is a fantastic question. Make sure the home audience heard that. What happens for? I'll be makabel to do it. So that's a pretty serious thing. You're makabel to do it seemingly yourself. That sounds very similar to I'm going to learn myself this Gemara for that person. And the question though is, let's say there are cases of an ones, of where I can't do it. I'm not going to have a minion. I'm stuck. Potentially pass it on at that time to someone else. That's in the summer they had Delta, didn't have a minion, couldn't do it.
Like you have to write up a contract. I'll do it for you by right.
Yeah. One thing, and make sure to get on tape. Rav Scheinberg is a very interesting, a very good heter. Again, we said for something which is not crystal clear spelled out, giving a modah. That if I need a real bezdin, it's a declaration. A nice idea. Is that that women keep. That is a fantastic eitzah. So let me summarize, and I would like to say over that when it comes to Yom Kippur, and we do these procedures. And these procedures, to be honest, I ain't even go through them. But so we said the most simplest understanding is Tzarech Gadol. A person has it, it might work. But ideally, the way coming into Erev Rosh Hashana should think, okay, are there the dharma that I really need? Secondly, we did find that one could rely on Atar Sadarim, one of Erev Rosh Hashana, one could rely on a Mudah, but even according to the Shita that Atar Sadarim doesn't work. I remember years ago, my friend in one of his tshuva draws, Bein Adam L'Makom and Bein Adam L'Chavera. That there are both, but Adam L'Makom. You have to really ask. Said there's really a third category that goes many times. Bein Adam La'atzma, between a person and himself. What is a person's word? I say I'm going to do something. Is my word gold? On Kol Nidrei, is that, look, it's a wonderful thing. A person who wants to do extra and start dreams and ideas that are within their range to keep, to hold true to those, and respect of not just being Malcolm Chavero. If I don't see anyone before,